Welcome to the Y Connect podcast. As the heartbeat of the community, the Y is a connector where people of all ages and walks of life come together to elevate their health, wellness, education, and essential life skills. Hear the stories of impact and join the authentic conversations where together we'll discover the journeys and pathways people take to connect through the Y. Now your hosts, Zarinah, Robert, and Allison.
How's everybody doing today?
Hey, all is well.
Great Thursday.
It is. Yeah.
It's been a
Looking
while.
forward to this episode. Yes, it feels like it's been a while.
I think the holiday.
Thanksgiving. How's everybody Thanksgiving?
Oh, wonderful. I just ate my last Thanksgiving meal yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Extending that out.
I'm a little turkeyed out. I'm a little turkeyed in macaroni and cheese.
Are you?
Still, yeah. I think I ate my last piece yesterday.
Really? I had to turn my turkey into turkey hash. You guys know about turkey hash?
No.
I do.
Tell me more.
So that's after you've carved all you can carve off the turkey. You peel whatever's left along with your dressing and your gravy, and you make a broth. And now you have like a soup, like a turkey soup, but they call it turkey hash.
That sounds great.
Yeah. And it tastes
with
amazing.
the cold weather, it's perfect.
Oh,
right
yes. Yes. You got to try it.
now. I will.
It's a great
Well,
meal.
we are at a 1 year mark, you guys. It's been a year of Y
That's
Connect.
Wow.
So today's episode is really about what have we, let's look back on some of our most notable episodes, thought-provoking, surprising. We've got some questions that we've prepared for each other, but I would like to say off the top how grateful I am for this experience with you both. I have had an absolute blast so far. So thank you.
Thank you. I've also enjoyed this experience with you guys.
Absolutely. It's been an incredible ride. Looking forward to next year as well.
Yes.
So we're gonna go ahead and start this off. Zarinah's first question is on you. Are you nervous yet?
Yes. But I'm ready.
Looking back at the past year of Y Connect episodes, can you share which episode or guest has left the most lasting impression on you personally and why?
Okay. Well, I'll say this may come as no surprise, but the guest that left the most lasting impression on me would be 7-year-old Oliver from episode 18. So as we know in that episode, Oliver shared, how he wanted to spend his own money to do something nice for the Y staff that had been so kind to him. And I feel like it's so inspiring to see young children who are kind and generous. And of course, as a parent, I strive and pray to raise my children to be selfless, just like Oliver. So I try to be even more intentional about having conversations with my kids about how important it is to give, how not to be selfish, because I'll tell you, 16-year-old boys can be selfish. I hope he doesn't listen to this episode, but maybe he needs to. It's not all about you. It's just not all about you. My 10-year-old is very selfless.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I think I'm being very intentional about my 16-year-old and how important it is to give.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that was a great lesson for all of us. I think Oliver definitely taught a great lesson for all of us, and really captured what we share to the community every day, and how we, portray ourselves within the community every day. Just selflessness.
That's right. All right.
I loved how his mom really deferred to him during that episode. I mean, Juliet was just, you could tell that the nurturing that she has done throughout his life and the empowerment piece.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that. So thank you for that question, Robert. My question is for you, Allison. So, what episode do you believe had the most significant impact in your listeners or the community served by the YMCA of Metro Atlanta? And what feedback have you received from your audience regarding it?
So I promise I'm not a copycat, but I'm going to let you know that in terms of the impact, and some way of measuring that is trying to understand how many listeners, how many people have downloaded the episode. And Oliver's episode has had the most downloads,
Oh,
both on
wow.
YouTube and on all the other platforms. So when you see the numbers, you see that impact. And
Yes.
for me, I felt like he had such an impact on what it means to be a Y staff member. You know, the staff made such an impact in his life that he wanted to
Right.
thank them.
Yes.
And it was a reminder to me that every day our Y staff have the power of impacting people.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that would be, sorry if there are other episodes we're going to talk about today. So I promise there are
We
more.
promise. Yeah.
But like just doubled in size in terms of the numbers of people that wanted to hear Oliver's story. So thank you for that question. So my question's for Robert. Robert,
Okay.
sometimes the most notable moments come from those unexpected places. Can you recall a particular episode or conversation that surprised you by taking a unique turn or maybe revealing a perspective that you hadn't considered before?
When I was taking a look at the list of people that we have interviewed over the year, several stood out. I believe the conversation that we most recently had with Devin and Jamie regarding Black Man's Lab. I'm sorry, not Black Man's Lab. Boys and Young Men of Color,
Yes.
and just Devin's energy and Devin's just attitude, just positive vibes that he was just giving us regarding the program. And actually, he corrected me and told me it's not a program, but it's an initiative. So
Or
I've
strategy.
made it a point, strategy,
Right.
strategy. Thank you. And so I've made it a point that every time I speak about it in those terms. And I try to stay very consistent with that, especially being that we being the Angela Walter Young, is kind of like the hub for
That's
the
right.
Atlanta market. So it's a growing strategy. It's a opportunity for
Right.
the association, the Metro Atlanta Association, to really help grow
Right.
the strategy nationwide and give it the national attention that it needs. And being a Black male, it's truly a program. A strategy that
Yes.
that I take to heart and see it working within our community, see it working within our building. I had an opportunity to go with Jamie yesterday to one of the middle schools, and with our partnership that we have with Morehouse, they Michael Levesque, who's over the national alumni for Morehouse, was doing a workshop strategy program with the students at Woodland Middle School, and talked about leadership. And it was just it kind of fed into it because Jamie has already introduced Boys of Young Men of Color to these young men. And so
Right.
it was all in line with exactly what Devin was talking about, exactly what Jamie was talking about. And I just stood there in astonishment listening to these young men talk about leadership, who they consider to be leaders in their lives, why they chose these individuals to be leaders, whether it be their parents, whether it be historical figures, whether it be religious figures that they follow, whether it be themselves. And so it was just that really just gave me a better understanding of exactly what the strategy is about, and just really painted a very clear picture for me. So I believe that one stood out the most for me.
Thanks, Robert.
Yeah. That's great.
Next question, Zarinah.
Ah,
You ready?
me again.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
Let's go.
Next question. Here at the YMCA Metro Atlanta, we cover a wide range of community-focused topics. Can you share an episode that you think embodies the Y's mission and values particularly well, and what made it stand out in that regard?
All right. Well, I'll say this was a tough one because we have so many great episodes and so many episodes that actually apply to this question. But I jotted down a few notes and I chose one. One episode that I feel embodies the Y's mission and value would be episode 25. And that one was about creating a community of volunteers. I remember doing that episode, our guest, it was Gail, Chris, and Kim, I believe. They spoke on food distribution in that program and how it would not exist without its volunteers. So the Y's mission is to empower young people and community worldwide to build a just, sustainable, equitable, and inclusive world where everyone can thrive, body, mind, and spirit. So having that community of volunteers to distribute food, I believe that they fulfill that mission and the values of the YMCA. So that one would definitely be the one for me.
I could not agree more. In fact, Gail followed up this week and sent us an article that the Atlanta Food Bank had put together in their annual report. And there was an entire article about the work out of the McCleskey Y and the partnership and the volunteerism and really living out that mission of the Y. It's very gratifying to see that that piece. I'll have to share it with you both.
All right. Thank you. Please do. Miss Allison, this one is for you.
Okay.
All right. So, reflecting on all the inspirational stories and insights you've heard over the last year, can you highlight one episode that you believe perfectly captures the spirit of resilience and determination?
So actually, there are two that stand out. So I'll speak about the first one, and that was episode 11. And the topic was slowing the progression of Parkinson's disease. Hearing Greg's story and the instructor, Cindy. I think what struck me, recognizing that the Y has become a place for people who suffer from Parkinson's for their body rehabilitation, but beyond the body, it has truly been such an emotional support. Hearing Greg talk about other members of his class calling him, checking in on him, really giving him a sense of belonging, really spoke to that resilience for me. Then the second episode that's along those same lines, but I don't think we knew the depth of that resilience until we had finished the conversation. And that was the one about pickleball, if you remember.
Oh, yes.
Episode 19.
Yes.
The pickleball, it's really a big deal.
Right.
But Dr. Michael O'Reilly was, this big pickleball player, and then he suffered a stroke.
Yes.
And the power of pickleball bringing him back to the Y and helping him recover from the stroke was so awe-inspiring. And really spoke to that level of determination.
Yes.
So definitely
two great episodes. There. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Absolutely.
All right. My next question is for both of you. Oh, go ahead, Robert. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, in that same vein, I've recently had a conversation with a member here that I've known for years and years. Just a little backstory. He, I believe, taught Montiel how to swim back at if not the Butler YMCA, then another earlier YMCA within Atlanta prior to the time that I started working at the Y. So he has a lot of history here. But he is also...
Sounds like a good guest for the future.
But he also is currently experiencing some medical challenges and speaks very extremely highly of the Y and just being part of his rehab. I
Mm-hmm.
love talking to him. A man of strong faith, a man of great wisdom, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, but when you speak to him, you can see the humility in his
Yeah.
face that from what he's currently going through. Um, but within that same breath, he
Mm-hmm.
um, he calls to the YMCA as being his savior. Honestly, he said
Mm.
he would not have the strength that he has, enduring what he's had to endure. He would not be
Mm-hmm.
where he is right now without the YMCA. So I believe that that story just speaks volumes in terms of
Right.
what the YMCA means to um, our community across the board,
Yeah.
um, when dealing with life challenges.
Mm-hmm. I love
I
that.
look forward to having him on.
Oh,
Yeah. I
That
like
that's
that.
that
a
has to
phone call
happen.
away.
Yes.
That's a phone call away.
Right.
All
Yes, I
right.
love that,
This
Rob.
is for both of you, the next question. So, there
Mm-hmm.
are some moments that happen on this podcast behind the scenes that our listeners,
Yes.
and if they watch on YouTube, our viewers, don't
Mm-hmm.
get to see. But for you guys, what maybe were some of those moments that happened off air or that people didn't know about? Would love to hear your take.
Let's see. I'll go ahead. So for me, it would be catching up with you two. And I love when Robert announced that he was engaged. That was
Yeah.
exciting. I'm like a hopeless romantic. So I was like, oh, I love that. And I love when you share out with us also, Allison. So that's definitely great behind the scenes. And also, I'm very, very pleased to work with Russ. So
Absolutely.
I love when he reveals himself to the guests,
Yeah.
and it's just
Yes.
instant
Yeah.
smiles. And I can't wait to see if he has a hat on and what that looks like. And then Russ is actually very funny and he cracks jokes,
Yeah.
and
He
so
does.
Yeah.
I love working with
There he is. Oh, Russ. You're
So that
so
just makes my
patient,
day.
Russ. I mean,
Yes.
the inordinate amount of patience you have, because
Yeah.
some of our guests have a harder time than others getting connected.
Especially
Right.
when I have to have 6 screens on the in the
Mhm.
frame of the shot, but it's all good. It's all good.
I would be like, show over. We will reschedule.
Yeah, we'll do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll do it again tomorrow.
Yeah. Sometimes we push the
Yeah.
limits on how many people we can cram in an episode. So
Oh,
true. Good call out. That's good. How about you, Robert?
I have two. Definitely, and both of them actually occurred on the same show.
Oh, wow.
The very first show when you all had me
Yes.
Oh,
sing
yes.
live. But prior to that, what everybody doesn't know, so that's what was showed on air. But what everybody doesn't know was how ill prepared I was and
Oh.
didn't have a headset. And I'm running around the LLC. I'm running around to everybody's office trying to find the headphones. I'm trying to find an office space to go in. So, Allison, you let me use your office space.
Yes.
And
Right.
I'm sitting there and I had to adjust myself because I was in the window and it was too bright. And so I had to go and find it. Yeah. I was like, yeah, if no one ever knew I never did a podcast before, they absolutely
Right.
knew it then. I was like, it was quite evident I was new to this.
Oh, that
was
is so
exciting.
funny. It was. But no, I could not agree more on your solo performance. That was such a
Mhm.
highlight
It was.
for us.
I enjoyed it.
And we've always said we're going to have you sing again. So
Yes,
get
Ironically,
ready.
the Morehouse Christmas Carol concert is this weekend.
Oh.
It's Monday and Sunday at Morehouse and Saturday at Spelman. And so
Okay.
I asked my fiance if she wanted to go. And so I'll be taking her this weekend for her first Christmas Carol concert. She was like, are you going up on
Nice.
stage? And I was like, no, I'm not going up on stage. I'm not.
That's going to be nice.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. I haven't
Very
been in a
cool.
while, so it's going to be fun.
Very cool.
It's going to be fun.
Nice, nice.
Zarinah, you ready?
Yep.
All right. As co-hosts, we have the opportunity to delve into a variety of ways into why connects people. Can you discuss a favorite episode that allowed you to learn something new or expand your own horizons and how it broadened your perspective?
Okay, that's a good question. Thank you, Robert. An episode that allowed me to learn something new was episode 12, My Why, My Community. So in that episode, Desiree, she shared YFit workout programs, and I wasn't familiar with the YFit workout program at that time and how you can create your own workouts. And she also spoke on her plant-based diet and how it changed her life. So I said, well, you know what? I've always been curious about the plant-based diet. I've kind of tried plant-based, but I said, okay, this time I'm going to go for it again. I went out and bought some plant-based diet books. I went ahead and went to the grocery store, and my plant-based diet lasts 30 days. I was hoping it would last a little longer than that, but 30
Hey,
days
that's
it
awesome,
did.
though.
Yeah, it truly is.
I'm telling you. And so now I just kind of do plant-based as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's my happy medium. But that was one that I would definitely say that was one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Desiree just exuded
Yeah.
life passion and excellent mothering. Like, oh, I need to
Yes.
take a page from her notebook on how to raise boys, because clearly she has done it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then to hear that she, is into that whole YFit, which is, extreme fitness, was really great. Yeah. Good
And
pick,
I thought it was
Zarinah.
pretty
right, thank
exciting
you.
that she does the YFit with Kristen.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. My
that was
next
pretty
door
exciting.
neighbor.
Yeah,
Forgot
I thought
about
that was
that.
pretty exciting.
Yes.
That is pretty
They
impressive.
are hardcore.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely enjoy sharing that with you guys. So Allison, the next question is for you. So over the past year, we have had the privilege of featuring numerous community members and advocates. Can you pinpoint an episode where you felt like you were able to amplify an important message and cause that need more attention?
I would say it has to be episode 24 with Victoria Inman, the author of the book Spark Acceptance.
Oh, yeah.
This episode was all about celebrating exceptional people, people who live with disabilities. And what I didn't realize after this podcast episode aired was that my mother-in-law listens to our podcast, which
Oh,
I
wow.
had never known, hadn't shared it with her. So that must have been my husband. And my
Can we tell her
mother-in-law
thank you?
had called.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Linda. Nobody's listening out there. But Linda, after listening to that episode with Victoria and her story about how Victoria and her husband at first were really quiet and didn't share with people about their child's autism, and over time realized that actually having the power and the ability to share that story would help their
Right.
child and help others.
Yes.
So my mother-in-law heard that and immediately called my husband's stepbrother's wife, who has a child with autism, and said, you've got to listen to this episode. And it made me recognize that Victoria's story was a teachable moment for us, but a
Right.
teachable moment and hopefully helpful to other families out there that have children that have disabilities.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That was a
powerful.
good one to highlight. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, Robert and Zarinah. This question is for both of you. Looking ahead, are there any themes, topics, or types of guests that you would like to explore in the coming year?
Oh, yeah. So, most definitely. So, the stats on Oliver's show, I didn't know that until you just shared, Allison. But I would like to see more young guests on the show. I feel like children, they're so enthusiastic. They like to talk. They have lots of personality. And they also have short stories to share and stories of impact to share. And I thought about it, maybe the child getting swim lessons, the child that's on the basketball team, how has that impacted their life? And what have they gained
Love
from
that.
it? So I would love to hear more stories of impact from youth.
Perfect.
I think
Yeah.
that'll be great. Really do.
Yeah.
We've touched on so many different topics and have met so many incredible people. Possibly kind of diving into some of the historical figures that that grace our branches,
Mm,
or at least names grace our branches.
right.
So here we have Ambassador Young and Dr. Walter Young. Uh, we have Arthur Blank. Um,
Yes.
I can't name everybody, but there are so many people that I know. I've been to Wade Walker and seen individuals and be like, "Oh, I know you."
Right.
I've been to the Buckhead Y and be like, "I've seen you on TV." Um,
Right.
so yeah, just kind of just diving into so many just historical figures of that grace our presence every day. Um, we really don't. I had an opportunity to do a tour.
Hmm.
I don't mean to be scattered all over the place, but just some things just happened. I had an opportunity to do a tour last week with two young individuals who actually used to be part of our teen program here. They're grown now and in probably mid-20s or so, but they hadn't been into the Y in several years, probably
Right.
pre-pandemic. And when they came back, uh, some of us still remembered them. Some, just at least vaguely remembered their faces. But I started introducing them to certain individuals within that were still here within the building at that time. And when they met them and they're being told that, yeah, I was a House representative, for
Oh,
this
wow.
many years, or
Hmm.
judge for Fulton County for this
Hmm.
many years, and they were just sitting there just astonished. And I was like, you never know who you're going to meet when you come to the Y, and this is really any Y.
Right.
You happen to
That's true.
be, in Southwest Atlanta, so yeah, you're going to be speaking to those historical figures within this region, within this area. But if you travel to any other Y, you will
Right.
absolutely have these same type of conversations with individuals that have made their mark and
That's right.
are now paying it forward. And
Yeah.
it's just, unfortunately, we don't often take the time to
Hmm.
sit down and speak to our neighbors and get to
Oh,
learn
yeah.
get to learn
Yes.
about them. And so historical figures, I think, will be, something great. But also the episode that spoke about dads and
Hmm.
just the impact of the
Mm,
dads group. And
Right.
that's another one that really just spoke to me, obviously being a
me
Hmm.
father,
too.
but just the positive nature of that episode and just the positive message behind that episode. I think it counteracts a lot of the noise that we always hear and
Right.
just really paints
It does.
a better picture
Hmm.
of how men are portrayed. And so I really
Right.
appreciated that episode as well.
Oh,
All
Isaac was
right.
awesome. He wants to
Yeah,
come back
Yeah.
too.
I
Yeah,
look
he
forward
does.
to it.
He's
I look
ready.
forward to him coming
Yeah.
back. Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you, those were great ideas. So that means we have so many more awesome episodes to come.
absolutely.
We really, really
Absolutely.
do. Thank you
Yeah.
so, so much. All right. So at the end of every episode, we always ask our questions, the same question of our guests, and that is tell us your pathway to the Y story. So we've already shared our pathway to the Y story. We did that in the very first episode.
Mhm.
So, as an alternative question for all of us to address, would love it if you could share any personal takeaways or lessons learned from hosting Y Connect that you'd like that have influenced your own role, okay, within the Y. So based on this experience, how has this experience influenced the role that you have within the YMCA and in the broader community?
Great question.
This is a great question.
Great question.
My response is kind of short and sweet, but I've learned more about the value of sharing and hearing stories of impact within our own community and how much we can actually learn from each other. And so I find myself being more intentional in different conversations with people as a reflection of being a part of Y Connect.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I think for me, from a personal standpoint, it gave me a voice. It gave me a voice to and a platform to just really express myself. I've never really had a problem of speaking, in public, but being in front of a camera and, having two incredible co-hosts to kind of help navigate the conversation, it really made the conversation natural. It really helped to just kind of keep things flowing. I also believe that, just kind of piggyback what Zarinah said, it really just kind of gave me more exposure to what's beyond this immediate community, and gave me more exposure to opportunities of how we support beyond what we normally do within our centers, within our branches. So just kind of understanding what's going on in McCleskey, understanding what's going on, at Toll, and understanding what's going on in Covington. It just really shines light on the great work that the YMCA is doing. So I think it really just opened me up to get a better understanding of the great work that the YMCA does association wide. I think so many times we focus on what's just going on within our communities, within our backyards, but there's so much more.
Right.
And I truly appreciate and I'm grateful to be working for an organization that extends ourselves as much as we do, and paying it forward for as many people as we do.
Love that. Yep.
Yeah, I love what you both have said, and a couple things I want to say and before I answer the question, just to let our listeners know. This work that we do as a part of Y Connect is something you're doing on the side of your desk. So Robert and Zarinah are not paid an extra stipend. This is something they've done out of the goodness of your heart because you believe in this story and the message that we're working to get across to our communities. So I just had to lift that up. We all do this because we believe it matters.
Yeah.
I've had the pleasure of helping be sort of the person behind the scenes producing these podcasts and developing the guests and figuring out, okay, what stories are there out there? And for me personally, I have been so humbled by the magnitude of what the Y is through this experience. I had my own personal Y experience. My children had a Y experience, but until we had done this podcast, I didn't have a full understanding of how many people across Metro Atlanta were impacting every day and how extraordinary the people who work for the Y are.
Yes.
I attended a recent membership cabinet. So the cabinet system for us at the Y is our lines of business meet monthly and really share best practice and talk and really build out ideas for the future. And I attended membership cabinet recently and just asked the question, what would help you as membership experience directors do your jobs through the podcast? How can we help create content that's helpful for you?
Right.
And it was so crazy and wonderful how many ideas came out of that experience. Just asking that question. And I showed some clips so they could, in case they hadn't seen or heard the podcast. And since that opportunity, the ideas have just been flowing in,
I bet.
and it's so fun. It really is. It's probably
It is.
my most favorite thing I get to do.
It is.
That's great.
It
Yeah.
is.
What a great question to ask. So again, I'm looking forward to many more wonderful episodes of Why Connect.
Truly.
Yeah.
I think we've definitely set a very strong foundation for ourselves, and it's nothing but up from here.
That's right.
It's been a great year, and I look forward to 2024 with you all
Absolutely.
very much.
Absolutely. I'm gonna need you guys to get some grays, because with all this we've been doing, I'm the only one that's getting gray hairs. I think Russ and I are the only
Are
one
you
with gray.
kidding? Oh my goodness! I got
I'm
Clairol
getting
working for me. Clairol.
Yeah, Russ, they haven't caught up to us yet.
Mine are slowly but surely coming.
How nice for you to say slowly but surely. I have been graying since 30, so I have been counteracting that puppy since that day. Thank you all so much. Great episode.
Thank you.
That's right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Why Podcast. To continue the conversation or to find your closest why, please connect with us at ymcaatlanta.org and sign up for our newsletter, Healthy Together.
Dad!